Ollie was walking to the library. He was going to return some books when he saw something quite strange. There was a man, an older man, and walking next to him was a chicken. Extraordinarily large chicken. The top of the chicken's back was up around the level of the man's stomach. And the man was resting his arm on the chicken's back as they walked along. I couldn't help it. Curiosity was too much. He went over and he said, "Hey, I don't mean to pry, but I've never seen a chicken that large before. And it's so tame." I said, yes, this is my walking chicken. It's new. I used to have a walking stick, but a walking chicken is a lot more useful. It's a lot stronger, and I like it. I've always wanted a chicken. Now I've got a walking chicken. I said, where did you get a walking chicken? That I got it from the bird wizard. I said, sorry, I could have sworn you just said you got it from the bird wizard, but that doesn't make any sense to me. I said, oh no, you heard me right, the bird wizard. He's down on Charles Street, on the 2500 block. Anyway, I gotta get going. Have a good day. And I was still confused, but he managed to say, yeah, you too. Good day. And I sat there just kind of thinking about that. A lot of information to take in, that there's a bird wizard handing out giant chickens. Well, I've seen a lot of weird things, but this would be among them. But he decided to continue to the library. Maybe ask the librarian about the bird wizard. As he was almost there, though, marching up Barclay Avenue, there was a bunch of turkeys. And they were dressed like a marching band. You know, they had little jackets, and little epaulettes, and they had little hats with straps that came down and hooked on their beaks. And the one in front had like a baton. Well, I couldn't quite tell how it was holding the baton because turkeys don't have hands, but it nonetheless had a baton. And bringing up the rear of the whole thing was these two kids, maybe like 11 and 7 years old. And they were in a red wagon being pulled by 3 of the turkeys. Kids were persons. People. All the members of the marching unit were turkeys. Stop looking for stuff. I said, all right, I've got to know about that. And he walked over, sort of caught up to the red wagon. Said, hey, sorry to bother you, but this is pretty weird. Where'd you get all these marching turkeys? And the 7-year-old just sort of looked at Ollie with sort of a concerned look, but the 11-year-old said, from the bird wizard, of course. Where else would you get something like this? This is the bird wizard. Yeah, down on 25th Street. You don't know about the bird wizard? Well, I said, I don't know about the bird wizard, but I think I'm going to have to find out. Does he just, grant bird wishes? I said, no, silly. Hey, we got to go, but good luck with your investigation. So Ollie, he went ahead and went to the library. He returned his books. And there was a librarian that worked there named Marcia, and she had worked there for, 20 years. She knew a little bit of everything. So she said, hey, Marcia. I said, oh, hey, Ollie, did you enjoy the books? I said, oh, yeah. Good stuff as always. I really appreciate your recommendations. I said, oh, sure. You look like you got something on your mind, though. I said, yeah, I do. Have you ever heard of... This is going to sound crazy. Have you ever heard of the Bird Wizard? I said, oh, the Bird Wizard. Don't tell me he's back. I said, back? She said, yeah. So it's this guy. He used to live here a long time. Like when I was a kid, he lived here. And he would do all these weird magical spells involving birds. And he would just give people these magical birds. And it sounds like it would be harmless, but then you got a bunch of people walking around magical birds. And nobody ever has a plan for what they're going to do with their magical bird once the initial, novelty wears off. I remember somebody had an entire flock of eagles that would spin around, like fly around his head in a circle. And that was really cool for like the first hour. And then he had to figure out what to do with a flock of eagles. Anyway, so he would do a bunch of bird magic, and then he would lay low for a while. And that went on for like 10 years, but then I thought he'd left town, because I hadn't heard any weird bird stuff in a while. But where'd you hear about the Bird Wizard? I said, well, I ran into a giant chicken and some turkeys acting like a marching band on my way to the library here today. Marcia said, yeah, that's going to be the Bird Wizard. I said, what's the deal? What's his deal? I said, well, he will trade you for all kinds of different things. Sometimes just a bottle of wine, if you have an unusual trinket. He likes fresh-baked bread. And if you give him these things, he'll do some kind of bird magic for you. Instead of a marching band full of turkeys. I said, yeah, they weren't playing any instruments, but other than that, yes. They must have given him something good. I said, I guess. I better stop. I said, well, I guess I better go see this Bird Wizard. I said, all right. You tell him Marshall Wilson says hi. He is a nice guy, even if his bird magic causes some trouble. Good, stop. So Ollie made his way down. 25th and Charles wasn't that far away, so he just walked. Along the way, he saw another strange bird thing. There was this lady, and she was riding an ostrich. That in itself isn't unusual. People ride ostriches. But in Baltimore, it's unusual. Also, the ostrich was bright purple.
What?
Yeah.
They're usually purple and pink. Well, they're the only purple and pink birds in the world.
I don't know that ostriches are purple and pink, but I'm colorblind, so I could be wrong. Anyway, so he asked the lady, said, hey, have you been to see the Bird Wizard? She said, oh, yeah, not today, but yesterday. That's where I got this awesome ostrich. I named him Sam. And Ollie couldn't help but laugh. And said, yeah, Sam is a perfect name for a magical purple ostrich that you can ride. I thought so, too. So, yeah. And off she went on her ostrich. And Ollie kept on making his way down. When Ollie got to the 2500 block, it all looked normal to him. He didn't see anything unusual. He didn't spend a whole lot of time down in that part of the neighborhood, but he'd pass by on a bike or a bus. And then as he was sitting there, sort of contemplating the scene, a door opened on one of the houses. And out came a guy with a hat made out of living sparrows. It's the best way I can describe it. It was like 15 to 20 sparrows hanging out on this guy's head in the shape of a hat. And it was clear that he wanted to show off this thing, this crown of sparrows, to somebody. Because as soon as he saw Ollie, he said, hey, check this out. And he clapped And the birds flew up and then landed back down, and it was in this, and they were now in the shape of a different hat. It started off in the shape of kind of a bowler, and now it's in the shape of a tricorn hat, like, you know, settlers wore. I said, hey, let me ask you, what did you trade the bird wizard for that bird hat? I said, oh, I had a big tray of cinnamon rolls. I said, okay. And all I spotted at the end of the block, there was a liquor store, and he remembered that Marcia said that he liked wine. So I went in and said, hey, what kind of wine would you recommend for a wizard? The guy said, I don't need to wonder. You were looking for a present for the bird wizard. I said, yeah, I am. How'd you know? He said, well, he's been doing a lot of stuff recently. Plus, I know the bird wizard. He comes in here, on his own to get stuff too. So, what you want to get the bird wizard is a nice dry rosé. I've got a couple choices here. Probably this one. It's about $15. I've got it cold. He'll like that. It's a pretty good choice. I said, all right. So bought the wine. Went over and knocked on the door. He didn't know what to expect. He thought maybe someone dressed up with all crazy bird feathers or like a big blue robe with stars. But the person that answered the phone was just a regular looking lady. I said, hi, I'm here to see the bird wizard. She's like, yeah, that's me. I said, you're the bird wizard. Yeah, what were you expecting? I said, well, I guess I was expecting some sort of crazy magical outfit, and I was sort of under the impression that you were a guy. I said, well, no. I mean, yes. My father was the original bird wizard, you see. I've taken over the bird wizard business from him. So I'm the second generation bird wizard. I said, oh. Do you still like dry rosé? I said, well, I'm more of a Red Zinfandel person myself, but my father still lives here, and he likes dry rosé, so it's an acceptable offering. What are you looking for in magical birds? I said, really? I'm just looking for answers. I'm curious. How does the bird magic work? He said, well, I can't give you my secrets. It took me years to learn the bird wizard trade. It's not something I'll just pass off to some random octopus who walks in off the street. It's something that I'll pass down to my son or daughter. It's time for me to retire. But I can show you. I can do the bird magic right in front of you. Well, I said, all right. But I don't actually want a pet bird. So can it be something where the bird goes free after like a day? It can just be a happy free bird? She said, that's one of the best questions I've had. It's a compassionate answer, so I'm going to give you something extra special. Lots of people don't even care about the birds. Credit you too. So she thought, what could I do to be extra special? Extra special. Well, what do you do, sir? I said, well, my name's Ollie Octopus, and I'm a private eye. I said, huh. What if you're an octopus? I said, yeah. So you don't fly? No, generally not. Are you afraid of heights? I said, no, I'm not too bothered by heights. Then here's my idea. What if I gave you not a bird, but a whistle? I said, a whistle? I'm listening. And when you blow on this whistle, a magical hawk will come and take you to where you want to go. He's only got, it's a bird, not an airplane. You can't take him all the way to New York City. But Most of the time, he'll just live nearby and be a hawk doing hawk things. But when you blow your magical whistle, he'll come and give you a ride, just around the city. How's that sound? I said, that would be amazing. You'd do all that for me just for a bottle of wine? I said, no. I'll do that for you because you're one of the first people in a long time who's come to me and been concerned about the welfare of the bird. Some people take good care of their birds, but you, before you even asked for what you wanted, said, how's the bird going to be okay? So that's why you're getting something extra special. I thought that would be great. I said, all right, well, here's how it happens. And all of a sudden, she was transformed. Where she had been just a regular looking, lady in her 30s or 40s, a little hard to tell. All of a sudden, her hair shot up and stuck straight out from her head, and it was like lightning was crackling out of it. And from her shirt, it unfurled into a robe somehow. A robe of red and gold and green. Ida. Just picturing what I'm saying. Close your eyes. And from the bottom of the robe, smoke began to pour and filled the room. And then the smoke coalesced and gathered as she began to make an orb shape out of her hands. And the orb got smaller and smaller and smaller until she pressed it like she was squeezing garlic. And then with a flourish, she opened her hands, and there was a whistle, a golden whistle, gold-colored anyway. And as Ollie was looking at the whistle, he looked back up at her, and she was normal again. I was like, wow, that was really cool. I said, thank you. I think it's a pretty cool display. Here, the whistle is yours. I said, all right. So is the bird somewhere nearby? I said, well, that's the question for you, Ollie, is where do you want to go right now? I said, well, I guess I should go home and get to work. She said, all right, well, Mr. Octopus is... Oh, no, just Ollie, please. I said, all right, Ollie, well, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Why don't you blow that whistle and tell the bird where you want to go. So he opened the window. She opened the window for him, I mean. He blew the whistle. It was a very pretty sound. Not like a harsh whistle. It was like nice. Kind of a low tone, but shimmery. And it was like, ah! And a big, what's the eagle or hawk? And a big hawk landed on the windowsill and looked right at Ollie and nodded. I looked with uncertainty at the bird wizard and looked back at the eagle. The bird wizard said, it's safe, I promise. You wouldn't have gotten here if you hadn't seen the magic that I can do. So when I tell you this hawk is your friend, I mean it. You should give her a name. I said, what's a good name for a magical hawk? How about... He said, it's a girl hawk? I said, yeah, Olive. And with that, Olive gave a caw. All right, Olive. I'd like to go home. My apartment's at the corner of St. Paul and 32nd. And he sort of tentatively held out two of his tentacles. And she flew into the room, sort of hovered over him, grabbed him by the tentacles, and off they flew, off to Ollie's apartment building. And that was a very strange day. And Ollie got a new friend, a new accomplice, Olive the Hawk. And that is the case of the Bird Wizard.